Let's take a look at VLANs. What are VLANs? VLANs, well, anytime we have V or virtual, it means software defined. So a LAN is a broadcast domain. A LAN is a local area network. It's usually all the devices hanging off of a router interface. And all those devices belong to the same broadcast domain, belong to the same subnet. We usually have our router connected to a switch and all my devices connect into a switch. If all those devices are connected in the same broadcast domain, that puts them in the same subnet, but maybe we'd like to be able to split those up. Maybe I'd like to softwarely, not really a word, but we're okay with this, we'd like to divide the switch into multiple broadcast domains. That would be the concept of virtual LANs. Let's take a quick look at how that structure would look. So if I have a switch, and maybe I even have two switches, and we'll talk about this later on as well. I have two switches to put in place. So I have two physical switches and I connect my switches together. This is one big broadcast domain. So if I have a PC sitting down here, and a PC sitting down here, and a PC sitting up here, they're all talking to each other. So if PC1 wants to talk to PC2, PC2, give me your Mac, or PC3, give me your Mac. The broadcast goes out all ports except the one it came in on, which means it goes up this wire as well. That's all well and good. These people all have a common need. And all of a sudden we decide that there's two engineers that have come down and work in the same infrastructure. So the engineers plug into a jack here someplace as well. They're in the same broadcast domain as well, but they have different needs. These three out here, these could be sales, engineering, whoever. These guys are sales guys. And my new engineers just came walking in, and they need to be able to communicate as well, but I don't want them on the same network. So traditionally, what we might have done is gone into the closet and created a second switch, or yeah, we're going to make one, and installed a third switch just for engineering. And instead of having the engineering people plug into the sales servers, we're going to have the engineering people actually connect up to the engineering switch. But there's only two of them. They're still going to have a connection out to a router someplace. They still have to get to another floor, but they are now isolated broadcast domain-wise from the sales groups. And why is that a big deal? I don't want, let's say we have a sales server out here someplace. So also connected into this is the sales server. So when PC1 or PC2 sales employee wants to talk to the sales server, they just say, hey, sales server, give me your Mac. If the engineer was plugged into the same switch, the engineer could say, hey, sales server, give me your Mac. There's nothing protecting my network. However, if the salesperson lives over here, the engineering person lives over here on the right-hand side in this section, how do they communicate? I have to have a router. So there's my router. My router connects one interface into the sales side. My router connects the other interface into the engineering side. If engineer wants to talk to sales, they have to go through this router, which is a layer 3 protection area device. I can do layer 4 filtering. I can even do layer 5, 6, 7 content filtering if I want to. So what I really want to do is isolate these broadcast domains. I bought a 24-port switch for 2 users. It doesn't make any sense. The cubes are already connected here. What if I could control those broadcasts within the switches that are already existing? So instead of having every port in the switch be in the same broadcast domain, what if I let the operating system of the switch say, hey, you know, we've got 2 other broadcast domains in here. We want to have these 2 people talk. We want them isolated from everybody else. So I can assign these 2 ports to the engineering VLAN. We should give it a number here, VLAN 10, for example. We'll take the salespeople and we'll put the salespeople in VLAN 20. And again, for no particular reason why I'm picking these numbers, it's just working for us. So now I'm going to eliminate the need for this switch. I'm going to eliminate the need for that connection. I still have a problem though. I still need to have my engineers have the ability to talk to salespeople if they need to. How does that happen? Well, I have my router involved still, and that still works for me. What happens is that the router interface is actually both the black VLAN and the blue VLAN at the same time. So I have one router interface. I have one interface, FA0/0, for example. I can split it up by creating sub-interfaces to interface FA0/0.10 and interface FA0/0.20. That allows me to put an IP address from the sales, from the engineering VLAN, and I can put an IP address from the sales VLAN, two different addresses, two different logical interfaces, again, sub-interface or logical interface, so that my traffic can be routed through my router. Now, what if we have another person come down here? What if another engineer ends up getting plugged into switch 2 here? That's all right. The wire that goes between the two switches is what we call a trunk, and that trunk allows me to actually carry the data from switch 1 to switch 2. So PC4 here wants to talk to PC5. PC4 does an ARP broadcast. It goes out all the blue ports, goes out all the blue ports, and then goes out all the blue ports. I'm trying to talk to PC5, so only PC5 responds back to me. Remembering now that PC4 cannot ARP for PC2's MAC. Why? It could try to, but it won't work because the broadcast won't go out the port associated with PC2. All the blue broadcasts stay on the blue ports, all the black broadcasts stay on the black ports, and you can have as many VLANs as you want defined in here. So the VLAN, the virtual information, is allowing me to take a physical switch and break it into multiple logical switches. Take one big broadcast domain and create one or more virtual broadcast domains, or software-defined virtual domains, or software-defined broadcast domains, or virtual LANs.